Hey, want to learn some cool things? Like to keep records of changes to your files? And being able to go back to a previous version later? Watch this video if you want to learn. In the previous video we talked about the three main sections of Git. Now let's understand the three states of Git and which commands we need to use to save the files in the repository. A file in your working directory can be in one of two states, tracked or untracked. In short, untracked means that the file is not being tracked by Git. Tracked means that it is in one of three Git states: committed, modified, or staged. What are the three main states of Git? To start tracking a file, we use the command git add, changing the status of the file to staged. This means that the file is to be included in the repository in the next commit, but it has not yet been committed. To commit and send the file to the repository, we use the command git commit, which takes all the files that are in the staging area and adds them to the repository timeline, creating a new point in the repository history. But just because it's in the repository doesn't mean it won't be changed anymore. A file that you have already included in the repository may undergo a change, which means that the changes in that file have not yet been committed and are not part of the repository. To include these changes in the next commit, you will need to use the git add command to add the file to the staging area, and then use the git commit command to confirm the changes and add them to the repository. Of course, you can also remove files from the repository using the command git rm. Simple enough, right? See a practical example. To start, remember to initialize the local repository using the command git init, which will create the .git folder used to store all the files and version control information of the repository. Let's say you have the files my_file.txt and other_file.txt, and you want to start tracking with Git. Up until this point, the status of the files is untracked. We will start by adding the files to the staging area and changing the status of the files to the staged status with the command git add asterisk. Note that we use an asterisk at the end of the command. This means that we are adding all the files in this repository. An alternative would be to specify which file, for example, git add my_file.txt. Since we want to save these files in the repository and create a new point in the repository's history, we will use the command git commit my first commit. This means that we are creating a historical reference point for the project and assigning a description of the changes made. Very useful and simple, right? In this video we will stop here, but keep in mind that you can edit the files and create new versions with the changes or even removing a file in the new versions. Stay tuned for new videos, and until next time.